where I'm just about ready to finish up Kingdom Hearts. But I'm playing this as I want to show a friend of mine a lot of Kingdom Hearts, and it's been a minute since we've played, so even though I'm now at a point where I can finish the game, leveling wise, I want to kind of recap what we've done so far. So we're gonna go through Jiminy's journal for realsies, take a look-see and read through, and then possibly show just the key cutscenes if I can, just to recap us up to where we are at the end. So I'm actually gonna start with the Ansem report. Let's see. Much of my life has been dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. That knowledge has guarded this world well. Not a soul doubts that. I am blessed with my people's smiles and respect. Though I am called a sage, there are things I do not understand. I believe darkness sleeps in every heart, no matter how pure. Given a chance, the smallest drop, and spread and swallow the heart. I have witnessed it many times. Darkness, darkness of the heart. How is it born? How does it come to affect us so? As ruler of this world, I must find answers. I must find them before the world is lost by those taken by darkness. It is my duty to expose what this darkness really is. I shall conduct the following experiments. Extract darkness from a person's heart. Cultivate the darkness in a pure heart. Will suppress and amplify the darkness within. The experiments cause the test subjects' hearts to collapse, including those the most stalwart. How fragile our hearts are. My treatments produce no sign of recovery. I have confined those who have completely lost their hearts beneath the castle. Sometime later I went to jail and was greeted by the strangest sight. Creatures that seemed to be born of darkness. What are they? Are they truly sentient beings? Could they be shadows of those who lost their hearts in my experiments? The shadows that crawl beneath the castle, are they the people that lost their hearts, or incarnations of darkness, or something entirely beyond imagination? All my knowledge has provided no answer. One thing I am sure of is that they are entirely devoid of emotion. Perhaps further study will unlock the mysteries of the heart. Fortunately, there is no shortage of test samples. They are multiplying underground even as I write this report. They still need a name. Those who lack hearts, I will call them the Heartless. Excuse me. Feeling my voice sounds funny, but okay. The Heartless appear in groups, and they are multiplying rapidly. I provided them both living and non-living samples. They responded only to the living. They seem to multiply after absorbing something from the living creatures. Their prey vanishes without a trace. I believe the Heartless are taking the hearts. They are born from those who have lost their heart, and thrive on the hearts seized from others. The hearts taken by the Heartless become heartless themselves. Though I lack proof, I am confident in this hypothesis. I don't know about that. But, anyway, I must also study their principal behaviors. Their behavioral principles. Though they lack emotions, they do seem to have intelligence. How to communicate with them. It just occurred to me. Could they be the darkness in people's hearts? That might be more accurate. Because when you destroy a heart is released. So I guess they could be a heart. But then why are they the Heartless? I mean, he named them, so if he doesn't know, then he didn't know. To study Heartless behavior, I picked one out for observation. It wiggled its antennae and as if scenting a target headed into the castle. In the deepest part of the castle, its antennae began vibrating as if searching for something. Suddenly, a strange door appeared. I'd never known of its existence. It had a large keyhole, but didn't seem to be locked, so I opened the door. What I saw on the other side mystified me. What was that powerful mass of energy? That night I observed a great meteor shower in the sky. Could it be related to the door I've opened? The massive core of energy lay beyond the door sought by the Heartless. It may be the ultimate goal of all Heartless. But what is that energy? I have devised a hypothesis based on my observations of the Heartless. The Heartless feed on others' hearts, and they yearn for the energy core. That thing beyond the door must be a heart to the heart of this world. There is no proof, but having felt that immense energy, I am certain that was the heart of this world. The Heartless are trying to take hearts not only from the living creatures, but from the world itself. But what do they mean to do with the heart of a world? Breathing is hard. Okay. I am now studying material from the meteor that rained down that fateful night. What a find. The material is foreign to our world. It is elastic to the touch, and when two pieces are combined, they bond easily. None of the records I've scoured even mention such a substance. Was it introduced to this world when I opened the door? I wonder how many other materials drift through the atmosphere of this tiny world. I wish I could start off and find out. Could there be uncharted worlds up there? My curiosity never ceases to grow. But I should stop speaking in such unrealistic dreams. For now, there is no way to venture outside this world. My people and I are all but prisoners of this tiny place. There is no doubt that the Heartless are deeply connected to people's hearts. Further study may unravel both their motivations and mysteries surrounding the heart. As a start, I have built a device that artificially creates a Heartless. By recreating the conditions that spawn a Heartless naturally, I should be able to produce them artificially. This device is an accumulation of all my research thus far. The machine's test run successfully created a Heartless. This may be a step towards creating a heart from nothing. I'm trying to remember if I've seen this machine. The artificially and naturally created Heartless show nearly identical traits, but two types should remain distinct for the purpose of the experiment. So I will mark the ones that are created artificially. How did we mark them? Simply astonishing. I had a guest today from another world. He is a king, and his vessel is built from the material composed of meteors called Gummy's Box. It seems that opening my door has opened a path to interworld travel. We talked for countless hours, but one story in particular caught my interest. That of a key called the Keyblade. The Keyblade is said to hold phenomenal power. One legend says its wielder saved the world, while another says he brought chaos and ruin upon it. I must know what this Keyblade is. A key opens doors. It must be connected to the door that I have opened. Yes, logically. Keys open doors. Just as people have hearts, so do worlds. The same can be said of the stars in the night sky. And deep within each world lies a door to its heart. The Heartless desire those hearts. Born out of the darkness in people's hearts, they seek to return to a greater heart. Or a greater darkness? Yes, that's it. The Heartless come from people's hearts, as does the darkness. It is the core of the world's heart, the world of the Heartless. I'll pursue the answer there, and become all-knowing. Oh, and suddenly took a turn. My path is that I will seek out the wielder of the Keyblade and the princesses. My body is too frail for such a journey, but I must do this. I will cast off and plunge into the depths of darkness. And so now, opening the door to the world of heart causes its world's walls to crumble. These fragments are seen as shooting stars. This explains why these gummy boxes can travel freely to other worlds. I know the catalyst of this collapse, the appearance of the Heartless. However, it will take time to search out the world's doors and to retrieve each heart. Furthermore, the doors can be locked using a Keyblade, making that heart forever unattainable. I must take action before the wielder of this key appears in this world. Yeah, you've definitely taken a turn, Ansel. If the princesses and the Keyblade are connected, they should resonate. I've chosen a girl. I don't know if she holds the princess's powers, but I'll find out. She may lead me to the Keybearer. I shall set her free and observe. That must be Kyrie, I bet you. Alright, so 12 and 13 you get by beating Sephiroth and the Unknown. And so Sephiroth, I've never been able to beat Sephiroth. In this game, anyway. So rather than exercise frustration, I'm just going to read it from the internet. The body is gone. The heart should have returned to the Heartless, and yet nothing. This one is unlike any others. Its memories may remain, and it is yet to take the form of a Heartless. A close eye must be kept on the situation. Much is still unknown. To get to the realm of darkness, one must go through doors of Kingdom Hearts, and the place where the worlds connect. Beyond this world is a place where darkness reigns. Details shall be archived in a separate report. There are many worlds in existence, some of which we know nothing about. The world in which we live, the realm of darkness, the realm of light, and the world in between, wherein lies true nirvana. So this first part, the body is gone, the heart should have returned to darkness, and yet nothing one, I'm not quite sure who that's referring to. This one is unlike any other, its memories remain, and yet it has to take the form of a heartless, so I'm not quite sure if that's... Oh, and then there's the Report 13, which is when you fight the Unknown in Hollow Bastion, and unfortunately I cannot remember where the Unknown is, and I may or may not bother with it when I actually play through the finished part, because we're at the end of things, so I'll probably just show the cutscene of it. But here's the report that we would otherwise get. Where does the body go when it separates from the heart? If the soul remains with the body, is it still considered to be deceased? When the heart remains to the heartless, the physical form disappears. But that is merely true in this world. Perhaps the body exists in another form in another world. If that's the case, then it's possible for one to exist in two worlds. A being that is neither darkness nor light, belonging nowhere, abandoned by its heart, a mere shell of its former self. The relation between the heart and the body is complex. However, I am certain that if your self exists here, then by definition the other cannot truly exist. The other, which does not exist, shall be dubbed nobody. So, a little bit of pertinent from this game info we've learned here. So, if we remember, there was a point in time where Kairi's heart was residing in Sora, and she was just kind of a limp noodle, but she wasn't turned into a heartless because her heart was somewhere. It wasn't, I guess, free floating because it was inside Sora. It was somewhere, so no heartless was produced, but she was without a heart for a while there. Sora, we saw, lost his, when he stabbed himself with a keyblade that released his hearts, all the princesses' hearts were released, and as well as Kairi, and she was restored, but that turned him into a heartless for a little bit, and then the power of hugging, which is probably actually memory, Sora was restored somehow. We're gonna get more into nobodies in a different game. That's actually like a kind of being. So like there's heartless, there's people who are not heartlesses and not nobodies, and then there's nobodies, which is a different kind of being in total. So we'll learn more about that in later games. But this machine that creates heartless out of nothing, I don't remember that. I'm hoping we come back around to that, because that's interesting. And tugging at my memory bits, but I can't come up with what it's supposed to be. Also, we had two other things. So we also had Pinocchio at one point. So Pinocchio is a puppet, like not a living boy normally, right? But he has a heart, and it was able to be taken briefly, and then restored to him as well. Or maybe it never got taken. I think he just got kidnapped. But it had the ability to be taken. So basically, a puppet of a being, so like an artificial being, let's say, could have a heart essentially installed in them. That's the thing. And then also we had, so kind of like Sora, but more without consent. We had Riku have his physical form taken over by Ansem's heart, right? And they were kind of butting heads the whole time while they were in there, but there was a back and forth there where both were kind of coexisting for a time. So those are all things to ponder for the future. But that's part. This is Ansem 3.1. Let me see how much we've been running. Maybe I'll make these into separate segments. Moment, please. Let's see. Sorry, my voice sounds weird. I took like an antacid right before I started talking. I feel like it makes it sound like I'm losing my voice, but I'm not. Okay, so... Oh, it doesn't tell me how long I've been recording. Does anything tell me how long I've been recording? Maybe this button? Oh, it doesn't. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. Alright. So, I guess we can go on to another thing. Alright, so in Chronicles, characters. Let's just run through the characters real quick. Alright, so we got Sora, that's our hero. Riku. So Riku currently, missing in action, right? He's kind of been taken over and possessed. Kairi, I believe at this point, Kairi's been restored, so I think Kairi is where we are now at near the end of the game. Kairi is hanging out in Traverse Town. Mickey Mouse, goodness only knows what he looks like. Mickey is still missing in action. We have not seen or heard from him beyond the letter we found at the beginning of the game. Donald Duck, this awesome boy, yo. Oh yeah, look at poor Donald. I'm just gonna put out his biggest sin here. A royal magician, skilled in magic but short-tempered and shy. Because Mickey said to follow the Keyblade, he once left Sora to follow Riku. But friendship soon led him back to Sora, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen the wise little hen. Goofy, captain of the Royal Knights. So I love that they have like a, just a quick aside, I love that they actually have actual jobs. He's the Royal Magician, Goofy is the captain of the Royal Knights, but he avoids fighting whenever possible because he's such a good boy. Oh yeah, same thing here. Mickey's loyal subject because Mickey said to follow you. He was once left Sora to follow Riku, but soon friendship led him back to Sora. I don't know, maybe I've seen Mickey's review. Oh, Goofy's name has changed over the years. He might have been, Dopey Dog. Dopey Dog? Was it Dopey Dog originally when he came out? Something like that. Anyway, I love it. Mickey Donald Goofy. My voice. And then we have Minnie. She's got such a big head in this moon. Queen of Disney Castle, ruling in Mickey's absence. I, Jiminy, am accompanying Donald Goofy as the royal conqueror as per request. Minnie is more concerned than anyone about the king's disappearance. There's a cute, I don't know, fan theory where Minnie might be a bit of a tyrant. Not in like a how she like talks or acts, but like everyone or folks think that maybe Mickey is kind of a gentling hand on Minnie's reign. I'm willing to bet that Mickey married into royalty, especially since Three Musketeers is a world we do at some point later go on to in this series, and so I think it's Minnie's kingdom and Mickey married in, and because there's a point in the later game where, like, when you look at that from an outside point of view, someone basically stuffs a ballot box for an extremely minor prize. It's like cool guy for the day is basically what the end result of it is. and she like banishes him to a different dimension for it. Like it's just she can be intense if she wants to be, which amuses me because Minnie be fierce. Speaking of fierce, we got Daisy Duck, Dawn's sweetheart. I feel like she has like lading and waiting or something. Like her actual job should be there. Like I don't think Donald's sweetheart should be considered her job. That's like a hobby. Probably, right? I don't know. This whole profile is failing the Beck test. That stinks. Daisy's amazing in her own right. Pluto. I would like to take a moment to talk about Pluto. Pluto seems to be able to psychically divine stuff. He seems to be able to travel through worlds on his own. I just, like, if you, like, ever rewatch all the footage from the different games, or, like, I don't know if there's, like, a Pluto-only compilation somewhere. I'm sure somebody's done it. But Pluto is up to stuff. And, like, he has the power of the plot on his side. Like, as a non-speaking character, he's like, I'm going to get to where I need to go through the plot holes. It's just impressive to see someone with that superpower. And we got Chip and Dale. I will share how I know the two of them are different. So Chip has the chocolate chip nose, right? And then Dale has a valley between his teeth. Between his teeth, not chip teeth. But yeah, Chip and Dale. I love Chip. So yeah, Huey. He's got a red hue. I love that they're running a little shop in this. Dewey, who's like Dewdrop, that's the water. And then Louie, who's the last one. Sometimes Louie has a yellow cap instead of a green cap, depending on which one you're watching. Alright, Merlin. Okay, also, so later in life, we're gonna find out that Merlin, I believe... So a little bit of a spoiler. Mickey, as we'll eventually see, is a Keyblade wielder. Merlin also seems to have gone under some training, as well as Yen Sid. So Yen Sid still has a mastery thing. I don't know where Merlin stands on that, or if he actually... if he's more a trainer of Keyblade masters in the realm of magic versus can do a Keyblade wielding. Oh, no, I take that back. Merlin, I do not believe, wields a Keyblade at all, ever. Yen Sid does, Mickey does, and then there's another person that's part of their trio that we talk to later in life, and I won't talk about him now. That's Merlin. I always respect Merlin's packing skills. Fairy Godmother. Another Fairy Godmother. I wish she had a bigger part to play. I love that she's in it and that she plays a part in helping restore the summons, but I would love her to have a bigger part too. But she does get highlighted in another one of the games, so. Bongo. All the doggies. I was gonna say, do all the dogs have their own? We got Perda. And then we got so many puppies. Only one of the puppies you get to see. So the world was destroyed by darkness. The brooms. When did we see the brooms? 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 I don't remember when we see the brooms. Alright, here's Leon. So obviously that's Squall, Leon, Hart, but he and the other Final Fantasy characters, they escaped from their homeworld with the help of Sid when they were all little bids. He part with his old self. Aw, that's nice. Meeting the king has been vigilant. Okay. Yuffie is here. Aerith is here. Yes. Cloud is not here. So while they're all hanging out in Traverse Town, so Cid, long story short, because it's only in the manga, Cid, as I guess an already adult man, flies all the FF kids out of their world to safety, with, I assume, the exception of Cloud and Sephiroth, who were baby fighting maybe at the time, and now it's, I don't know, 10 to 15 years later and everyone's more of an adult. But I'm guessing that Cloud and Sephiroth probably just survived the destruction of their, or the takeover of their world, and escaped it somehow without really being bothered by the Heartless, because they I don't know, they're too wrapped up in their own struggle. But yeah, so both Cloud and Sephiroth seem to, in this game anyway, hang out solely in the Colosseum and don't seem to have a back and forth with Traverse Town, even though they are actually... So at one point, Cloud and Leon are fighting side by side in one of the tournaments, and the reason I bring it up is in this game, Cloud gives you a little chat at some point that he's searching for his light, and you're kind of meant to infer by the conversation that he's probably looking for Aerith. But you think, if he saw Leon, he'd be like, "Hey man, you seen anybody else that's from our home world? Like maybe an Aerith, maybe?" Or did we just be like, okay, two dudes with giant swords, they're gonna be in the same match, nobody talk to each other? Which then implies to me that maybe he wasn't looking for Aerith at all. Maybe he's just looking for Sephiroth, which, I mean, he's probably looking for Sephiroth. And he's just kind of always seeking Sephiroth. And Sephiroth seems to be seeking him, so I don't know. We'll see as that unfolds, what that holds for us. Cid. So, like I said, Cid was how the other guys, for the most part, escaped. Titus, Sylphie, and Waka actually were all on Destiny Islands, and we don't know what happened to them after the islands disappeared. We're familiar with Noodles. We're familiar with Snow White, right? So Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, they were all captured before our story really begins. Belle, we don't see her capture, but we hear about it in real time, I guess, more or less, because Beast tells us that he's lost her, and he made his way to... So this is something that I think a lot of people... When you first go to Halabashan, it's got a huge freaking library, and it's the world where we run into Belle and Beast, so it would be natural to assume that it's their world, but it's not actually their world. It's somewhere else. More on that later. Maleficent. So Maleficent is in, I'm going to say, almost every Kingdom Hearts game, regardless of the fact of whether or not she, or in contrariness, I guess, to the fact that you defeat her from time to time, because she does not wholly die. She's got ways of coming back or doing stuff. She's the apprentice of someone we'll learn about later. So, like in the realm of Keyblade stuff. But I never see her wield a Keyblade, so I don't know if she's more like an academic apprentice type of thing or what, but she's definitely got her own, Maleficent has her own entire plot going on, to the left of everything we're following as we follow Sora and his friends. So it's very fascinating, and keeping an eye on what she's doing and trying to connect the dots between the games is very interesting. Like, she basically pretty much seemed to be using all the other villains that we ran into earlier as a means to the ends, and Riku essentially apprenticed to her, and she kind of like tried to really manipulate how he was thinking about stuff, and kind of fill him with the power of darkness. And in ways, like, you're kind of like, I wonder if she was trying to, like, how to put this? Like, it was almost like there, like, needed to be a cannon fodder type sucked full of darkness person, and she was kind of setting up Riku to be that, and in a way, at some point she kind of became that for a bit. It's hard to articulate. It's something like that you formulate over time. I don't know. But specifically in this game. But she's definitely got her own storyline going on. Dragon. Oh, this is just Maleficent's dragon. And an Ansem. As a researcher and ruler of his world, he studied the Heartless and delved into many of its secrets. While studying the heart within the heart and the darkness within it, he was possessed by the darkness and ultimately destroyed its own world. He sacrificed his body to attain great power, and later possessed Riku's to gain a physical presence. Failure to stop him means the ends of the world. Okay. No pressure. Right on. Alright, so where are we at now? Because I kind of intend to take a break in between. Let's see here. 30 minutes. Alright, so I'm gonna take a break, end this one, and then start another one. Let me see real quick. What do you mean new characters? Oh, there's more characters? You know Dumbo. You know Bambi. Bambi thirsts for the blood of the Heartless. Yeah, so most of these guys, so damage, right? Bambi, if you summon Bambi while you slaughter Heartless, he will drop additional items for however many Heartless you have killed. So yes, Bambi wants the blood of the Heartless. So Alice in Wonderland's folks, like, I feel like that was almost a tutorial world. Like, it wasn't. Like, it had its own plot and stuff like that. Really the most interesting part of it is that the bad guys invited Cheshire Cat to join them in their council, and he turned them down. Which is interesting that they did not invite the queen. They tried to invite the cat, and the cat was like, no, I'm on my side. You know, Hercules, you know, Phil, the sad fact, Phil's Japanese voice actor, I believe, passed away, which is why in one of the later games he's not voiced at all, because it's sometimes tradition to not use a voice actor, like not use a character in the same way when their voice actor has passed away. So I don't know if we'll ever hear from Phil properly again. But I believe his American one is still here, so I don't know. Hades. So like I said, Hades is not greatly adversely affected by the events here. He lost a bunch of fights, but he didn't get killed, and he didn't really get, besides an ass whooping, in any way really punished for his involvement. So if any of them, he really gets away cleanest of all the villains, since Maleficent is still deeply tangled up in everything that's going on. So versus Bobby. Go Bobby. Rock Titan. Oh, so off screen, I fought the Rock Titan. He's really big, made of rocks. I also fought the Ice Titan. Really big, made of ice. So Tarzan, does not show up in any of the later games. None of the Tarzan characters do. Because there's some sort of, I believe, dispute between Tarzan's, or... I'm blanking on the guy's name. So the author of Tarzan's estate at Disney had some sort of dispute, and ever since, they haven't done, Tarzan stuff, I guess, or you know, what we have here, this Tarzan. I don't know if they have any plans on ever trying to make another Tarzan movie of some kind. There's a TV series, and like a straight-to-video movie and a sequel, I think, but there was some kind of dispute between it being in this game and what have you, and now we don't get Tarzan anymore. So it's almost like it stinks because that world is now defunct plot-wise. But we kind of ran through the gamut of that story, so in the end, it doesn't feel like it's hanging open either. That is good times. So, because of Jafar, Aladdin kind of has a bit of information about keyholes and keyblades and yada yada, which is, I think, nice because Jasmine now knows about stuff too. Jasmine also got taken, but she got taken in front of us. So, you know, it's not like either one of these have to keep secrets from each other, which is just nice. It's just nice not to have to keep secrets from those people that you're close to. Jafar Genie, we know the story. Sabu. Thiago. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure we go back to Aladdin World. If we do Jafar 2 or not. Or what? I don't remember offhand. I guess we'll have to find out. Pinocchio, like I said, Pinocchio is very, very interesting because he would have lost his heart to the Heartless. Being that he has a wooden body and has a heart makes him very interesting story-wise. That they actually, you know, kind of dive into that in a bit in this game, and they actually dive into it even more in other games. So it's kind of neat. Geppetto's nice. There's Jimmy. Jimmy's like, I'm gonna write about myself in my own chronicles. So yeah, Ariel dreams of the outside world, and now she knows a bit about it, a little bit, because of all the stuff that happens. Beat Arthur, Charles, Sebastian, Flounder. They kind of just, they're part of their own. They're part of their own story bits, not the greater one. Jack's story is interesting because he tried to. He was like, let me see if I can get the Heartless to hang out and have fun with us. Go pray to the Heartless, Dr. Finkelstein. Yeah, so Dr. Finkelstein is so. It's not like we're devoid of other scientists in the other worlds. Like, technically, Jane and her father are. Well, they're what? They're anthropologists? Maybe they're zoologists? I'm not sure what their technical definition is. But, you know, Dr. Finkelstein is more of a practical mad scientist. And the fact that he was trying to do experiments on the Heartless gave us some information. It was just awesome. So many doggies. Lock, Shock, and Barrel. Shock is the purple one. And Barrel. Mayor was more or less irrelevant, I believe, in the storyline. Peter, of course, is a great time. I'm a fan. I'm trying to remember. I don't think they really. Not too much of the greater story was really revealed to them, I don't think. Hook took Wendy, thinking that she might be one of them, but she wasn't. And I think he got what? Yeah, he just got chased away. So he's alright. It's just me. Crocodile. Winnie the Pooh. Being a bear, very little brain. He's a bit absent-minded. I find the Winnie the Pooh section in this game very interesting. I like Winnie the Pooh, don't get me wrong, I do. The Winnie the Pooh minigames in the Kingdom Hearts series are sometimes the most harsh and trying of all minigames I've ever tried. So, while I love and normally am comforted by the gentle characters from Winnie the Pooh, it also infers in me, because of these games, a level of terror for the amount of minigame frustration I'm going to experience. Heartless. Shadows. Big shadows. Big shadows. So, I think in a later game, it kind of goes into a little bit of an explanation of these variations from Shadow. So like this is kind of default Heartless, right? This is what Sora turned into. So like, how does that go from what it is to, you know, any of these? Or like, how does, let me think, who transforms into a Heartless into? I think, did anybody turn into a Heartless? Like, any of the people that we saw really turn into a Heartless? Am I just imagining that? Maybe that happened in another game, I'm not sure. But, like, I guess we just really have Riku. Well, Riku doesn't turn into a Heartless so much as he's taken over by Ansem. And then, of course, Sora turns into a Shadow. There's a dark side. We will see dark side in later things. We will see most of the Heartless in later things, but they also have their variations. Oh, here's something I beat. Well, not on camera. It was a jerk. Here's like Cage, Boss Centipede. That was another one. Several of these, I guess, I beat up while we were off screen. Oh, and this guy was so hard. I mean, he was hard in the original game, and they made him, I feel like, harder still. Okay. Did we get everything? I think there's still like 2 Heartless that I still need before it's... Yeah, because if we were done, it would have everything. Okay, so then we have left is the Chronicles. How long is this one? 43. 4 pages. Alright. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I will come back and do the Chronicles, as well as do just the really vital cutscenes. Push this button. Yeah, we'll be back.